Ladies and gentlemen, the Rift update has once again been put on the Alpha Network, this time with some new collections and content. My name is Derailious, welcome back to Skyblock News, and let's launch right into it. The most prominent change this time around in the Rift is the inclusion of the Vampire Slayer and a few new collections. Starting off with these new collections, one of them actually comes from vampires themselves, the Hemovibe collection. The other are the living metal hearts that you get from the living metal snakes inside of the, you guessed it, living cave. Starting off with Hemovibe, there's actually quite a few items here, some of which might actually become pretty popular. Starting off, we have the Vampire Minion. Note that the Hemovibe actually comes from vampires themselves, so this seems kind of obvious. This was already leaked, but in order to craft the first tier, you're going to need a Bat Person helmet and a bunch of Hemovibe. As you can see, it's obviously Rift transferable, which makes sense, and to upgrade it further, you're going to need more Hemovibe and eventually Hemoglass. Moving over to the next tier, we have the Blood Donor Talisman. This just costs a bunch of Hemovibe, can be transferred outside of the Rift, and gives you 5 bonus seconds. Tier 3 is a book, the Transylvanian book, which allows you to heal 2 health per second per enemy within 10 blocks up to 20 health per second. In my opinion, this isn't too good, but hey, some people might actually like it. Tier 4's item is actually Hemoglass, which was shown off a little bit before. You can consume it and heal half a heart per second for 7 seconds. In my opinion, this is actually pretty solid considering what the actual point of the Vampire Slayer is. The vampires actually steal hearts from you, which you can get back by using this Hemoglass. And in order to craft it, it just costs a bunch of Hemovibe. Keep in mind though that you're probably going to want to keep this for some of the higher end recipes. Tier 5 is the Displaced Leech, which costs a Hemoglass and a bunch of enchanted bones, so you're going to need 9 of these in total in order to get it. The power is pretty good, giving you health, strength, crit damage, vitality, and a unique power bonus of 100 intel. In my opinion, this is alright, I guess. It's probably going to be pretty solid considering how much strength it gives, but we'll have to see if anyone really wants to use it. The vitality is probably pretty solid as well. Moving over to Tier 6, we have the Blood Donor Ring. This gives you more Rift time and 5% mana regen. It also is able to be taken outside of the Rift. As you can see, it's with the Blood Donor Talisman and a bunch of Hemoglass. Moving over to Tier 7, we have the Full Jaw Fanging Kit, which can be applied onto an iron sword for 60 strength, 8 crit chance, and 9% bonus attack speed, also having a perk of every 7th melee hit, dealing 100% damage. Now, I was trying to think of items that this could be good on. In my opinion, things like the Hyperion are probably a no-go, considering that the perk likely won't even work most of the time, but the Giant Sword is definitely a full-fledged perk on this one. And not to mention, I was also thinking about potentially using this on, like, some of the Blaze Swords, maybe? I don't know if this would really be that good for that, but regardless, you craft it with a bunch of Hemoglass, a bunch of enchanted redstone blocks, and a bunch of enchanted bone blocks, so keep that in mind. And moving on to the last couple items, we have the Presumed Gallon of Red Paint, which applies the blood-soaked Reforge when combined with the cloak. In my opinion, this is really good, gives you more from Vampirism and Lifesteal, allows you to heal more, and also gives you health, defense, and vitality. And finally, we have the Hemobomb and the Blood Donor Artifact. Now, this one's pretty good. It's a bunch of these Hemobombs though, which is a bunch of Hemoglass, which is a bunch of Hemovibe. It's just so much. But if you get it, it's 10 seconds of Rift time and 5% mana regen. You might be thinking to yourself, that's basically the same thing, and the answer is yes it is, but hey, it's a higher rarity, and also it can be taken out for some of that magical power. And the Hemobomb allows you to consume it to gift 500 motes to everyone in your instance, with a cooldown of 2 hours. Next up, we have the Living Metal Heart Collection, which there are a few things here. Notably, the Snake in a Boot, which is just the upgraded form of the sneakers that you get from Seymour. And as you can see, 15 Living Metal Hearts, and these boots give you these upgraded ones, 60 seconds of Rift time, 7 speed. I think it's pretty solid. Moving over, we have the Anchor. This one's already pretty well known, so I'm not going to go over that. The Bluetooth Ring is pretty interesting, gives you negative speed, negative intel, 30 seconds of Rift time, and monster melee attacks reduce 1 less Rift time if and only if there's another player within 50 blocks. And as you can see, it's a bunch of living metal hearts. Finally, we have the Polar Void Book, which when applied to a drill grants you 10 mining speed, up to 5 total times, and if you apply at least 1 book, you get a full breaking power point, which is really nice to see. 20 living metal hearts, and 3 frosty cruxes will do it for that. Overall, a lot of these items seem really solid, and I'm excited to see people use them in their builds. In terms of other updates, there is something pretty neat with Centauri, as he is now able to max out your skills and max out your collections. Top of this, he can also give you a bunch of items for this update, which I don't actually think have anything to do with the update, but hey, here's a bunch of items if you want to try them out. Note that he also has, obviously, the duplicate items thing, and he can max out anything you give him, so as you can see, my armor is now maxed out. Truly an incredible update. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say beyond that. Centauri has been here for a while, but the new stuff is pretty neat. I do like that he's actually able to max out all your skills and collections, not to mention those in the Rift as well. Overall, in terms of the Vampire Slayer itself, I'm kind of unable to give you any actual information about how it works or how to do it, because I don't have access to it. The Rift reset with this newest update, and therefore I have to regrind my way to it, but as soon as I do, I'll be sure to, make a video or show off all of the things to do with Vampire Slayer. At the end of the day though, my name is Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, because I will see you then.